Good afternoon, Kalista Club members. Very glad to host you today alongside Bogdan Gogulan. Hi, Bogdan. Welcome.
It's always a pleasure. How are you, Roger?
How are you? Bogdan, you are known now, at least in Luxembourg and a few other geographies, including the UAE and Europe, as a pioneer in late-stage space tech investments. And we'd like to spend a few minutes with you to understand what's going on in that space. You come yourself with a rich and long background in the industry from an operational standpoint, and you've been working in the field now for over 10 years. Before that, you were in the financial services sector, but at NewSpace Capital, your fund, you surrounded yourself with a lot of experts from SES and the likes, and also from investment experts in the VC world. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So that's what we do. We bring together the private equity experience and then the industry experience.
Okay. So I have only 3 or 4 questions for you. The idea is to demystify the area that you're working in. When we hear space as an investor, today we don't really think of commercial activity. We think of launching of rockets in the sky. We think of space mining. But I know you're very much aware of the differences that is going on in your sector of interest. Can you please tell us what attracted you to this investment field and what's going on, given the fact that you are focusing on Earth and orbits when it comes to your fund, NewSpace Capital?
Sure. And look, I think that is, excellent question, because look, I think a lot of people do indeed imagine rockets and, deep space exploration, Star Trek and sci-fi movies. But really what's most interesting in space investment, at least for myself, and I think for many other people, is the economic opportunity of it. Yes, of course, there is an exciting technology behind all of that. There is, interesting things like rocket launches that are, magnificent to watch, but that is just a very small part of it. But the economic impact that is being created by the space ecosystem, that's what's interesting. The fact that that can give access to the 50% of people who don't have access to the internet, give that access right now, that it can allow people that, don't have access to financial industry right now, have access to it. The fact that 50% of the sustainable development goals actually cannot be tracked without space-based applications. The fact that communication, connectivity dependent on it, the future growth of the Earth economy is dependent on it. And that if we take a look, any interesting piece of the developing technology on Earth, be it autonomous driving, be it precision farming, be it aquaculture, is actually cannot be done without space-based applications, either connectivity, Earth observation, or mapping. And what people are thinking, in terms of the launches, that's just such a small part of it. It's like mobile towers, which, Roger, the example that we quite often use in our conversations. And mobile towers, they look like rockets as well, but also they're just a very small part of the infrastructure, but it is what they enable, what makes the mobility market interesting.
Mm-hmm. We started at Kalista receiving deal flow in space technology, which is, I think, a coming of age for the sector. We still believe it's a risky area. Which part of the value chain of the investments are you focusing on, and why? I want to understand how you de-risk your investment strategy.
Sure. Firstly, there are different parts of the ecosystem, and this ecosystem itself is really big. It's 350 billion, so there are so many different subsegments of it. There are certain segments that are more risky than others, and then also, it depends on the stage of the company. Now, actually, the part of the business that everyone is most aware of, launches, that is probably the most risky part of the business. But outside of that, everything else is pretty much de-risked because supply chain businesses, they supply into the space infrastructure, and then applications, they depend on the space infrastructure, and these 2 parts, supply chain and applications, 75% of the market. That in space bit, sorry, Roger?
No, but you are not an early stage investor, because I'm trying to speak as an investor, and the way I look at investment areas, we look at market risk, execution risk, technology risk. I'm trying to locate you within that framework, because we've come across a lot of early stage opportunities ourselves, which we kind of discount at this stage of our life.
Yeah, and I think firstly is in terms of the market allocation, so segment focus, investment focuses, we are shying away. We're not looking at the in-space infrastructure. So that in itself considerably de-risks everything.
Okay.
Then in terms of the stage of the development, we are looking at the later stage companies, growth stage companies that already retired a lot of the technical risk, retired market risk because they have repeated commercial revenues. And we are focusing on the companies that just require working capital to scale their business in face of the rapidly developing market. So it's just execution risk.
I know you're still fundraising, but you've done a couple of deals, I believe. Can you illustrate your investment strategy with a tangible investment case?
Certainly. So first company that we've done investment with our fund, initiated our fund with that investment, is ISI. It's a Finnish company that does synthetic aperture radar technology for Earth observation. So using radio frequency to make the imaging of the Earth. Because it's not optical technology, but radio frequency, it allows you to make the images without sun, so at night, and also through the clouds. And the company is just, developing fantastically well. It's, been publicly announced that
How do you spell the name, just for our audience to know?
It's ice and I. Ice as the ice cap, the icebergs, and then I, as a human eye. And actually, the reason for that is that the very first satellite, the very first image that ISI received was iceberg. And from that on, the names stick. And ISI, providing services to the traditional businesses on Earth, energy, insurance, financial markets, leveraging the advance of the technology and the benefits of the space-based applications in the very traditional industries, and doing that in a scalable manner with high profit margins and very scalable business model.
Mm-hmm. So I want to end the interview as we started it. I described a bit your team. Let's assume our audience, and we work mostly with family offices who are relatively sophisticated investors, but perhaps new to your space. So let's assume that you demystified for us the area of space technology investing. Why should we back your team rather than another? I think there's a dozen funds active in your space. Tell us about your story as a team, how you came together, how long you've been in the making, and what will make you better than some of your, if you do have any, competitors?
So firstly, you're absolutely right. There are a number of funds now that focus on the space ecosystem. However, most of them, if not all of them, are targeting early stage. And early stage definitely providing a potentially lucrative upside, but it also means that investors are taking a lot of technical risk. So on our side, we are targeting later stage companies, so not taking technological risk on, which significantly de-risks investment. So on the kind of risk-adjusted return basis, it might be a better investment for some. But for the team is look. I think it is very important, especially for people that already have a fantastic career and kind of make interesting impact on their area of business, is being in the place where they can make most impact. You can't do good and then after that kind of make some money on that, or make some money and then do good on the side. It should go hand in hand. And what's very interesting about space is that it's such a high impact area. Absolutely, it's a very lucrative investment opportunity. It's probably the biggest investment opportunity facing any investor right now, bigger than anything else. But at the same time, there's a huge impact angle of it. And I think that's what attracted the team members, and where we had meeting of minds, and also the fact that these people worked together in that industry for a long time. They understand how it works, understand where these opportunity pockets are, and understand how that can be translated into the investment that makes sense. So smart money that we're bringing to those businesses and seeing them grow. And frankly, look, every company in the world now should become space company, but those that are more space companies than others For them, the sky is not the limit. Definitely, looking for unicorn starters and beyond, and being active in that field, kind of in the formation stage, is exciting.
And how long you've been working together with the team?
So we've been working on that specific fund for about 5 years now.
Wow, so it's not new, huh? That's the striking thing. It's long in the making, but there's an acceleration now, it seems.
Absolutely. Look, we spend a lot of time looking at the market, really identifying what we would like to do, refining our investment strategy, and discussing this with people, with potential investors, bringing our cornerstone investors in, which was key, and then executing our first deals to really showcase that what the investment strategy is about. My part of the team actually worked together for over 20 years. So know each other really well, work together for a long time, and it's a good combination of various skills brought together in terms of technology knowledge, commercial knowledge, investment knowledge, and understanding the complete value chain of the space ecosystem.
Oh, wonderful. I know you've been backed by substantial sovereign funds and governments, including the government of Luxembourg. And I do know that you are hoping to embark in this journey with more family offices. So we wish you luck, and I hope we can support you in this endeavor.
And thank you very much. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the joint journey.
Yes. See you soon in Luxembourg, Bogdan. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.